Imagine yourself going for a hike in the woods, as most of us have done or will do, and it starts getting late. The sun is going down, but there is still some light left. Not an alarming scenario, however, a feeling of fear and dread wash over you. Sounds from nature can no longer be heard, the wind seems to have stopped, and now, on edge, your senses are heightened. From a distance, you hear an animalistic scream, along with strange clicking noises. The panic completely sets in, and you rush to find your way to safety. All of a sudden, in the dying light, you see a figure hunched over that seems to have elongated and twisted limbs. Just the two of you in the quiet woodland staring at each other when it lets out an unearthly shriek. You run as every fiber of your being is telling you this creature is about to catch you. You can hear it snorting and growling mere steps behind your own. You approach your destination of safety and civilization. You realize this ghoulish creature is no longer following in pursuit, but staring at you from the shadows of the forest. You make it home, lucky to have your life, but this feeling of dread just won't end. Several nights of sleeplessness pass and begins having an effect on your mental state. You begin seeing glimpses of this creature in the safety of your own home. You pass it off as sleep-deprived hallucinations, but the encounters happen more frequently. One night, you see a pale, grotesque beast sitting at the edge of your bed. It slowly approaches you, and you can see just how terrifying this thing is. Long, jagged claws, large, unblinking eyes, a foul, death-like stench, and an unreal amount of knife-like teeth. You wake in a jolt of fear and paranoia as a sense of relief hits you. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a pale humanoid figure fading out of sight into the hallway. All you can do is wonder how long this thing will keep tormenting you and when it will finally take your life. Tonight, I will go on into a series of sightings and encounters of the bipedal cryptid known as the Rake.
Hello there, friends, and welcome to the Paranatural Podcast. My name is Ben.
And I'm Jake.
And tonight, Jacob is going to tell us stories of a horrifying little creature with far too many teeth. A creature known as the Rake. Jacob, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. Doing good. How are you?
We're doing wonderful. We are doing wonderful.
Excellent.
So before we jump into Jake's little stories tonight, just want to ask you to do us a favor. Head on over to our website. Check that out. You can fill out the contact form if you got something you'd like to say to us. You can find links to our Patreon. Whatever else we do is all on there. We'd like to thank our current patrons once again for your support. Helps keep the lights on here in Paranatural HQ. And if you are willing to do so, please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating and review. Besides sharing the show with a friend, that is the best way to help us grow and reach new audiences. Anything on that one, Jake?
No, thanks to everyone for support and listening.
Absolutely. That's why we're here. All right, buddy. It's all you.
All right. What is the Rake? The Rake is a bipedal cryptid that often goes on all fours for speed, agility, and stealth. This creature is completely hairless, and its skin has a sickly gray pigment. With the majority of sightings taking place in the woods at night, that is where it's most feared. However, the Rake has been sighted in fields, cemeteries, beaches, and even in one's home. Even if you encounter this monster and escape with your life, that doesn't mean you're safe. The Rake often follows. An earlier depiction of it was a ghoul. Many relate these two strictly by appearance. Though they have similarities, the Rake is far more terrifying. Ghouls are mostly sighted in graveyards. They dwell there and to dig up recent dug graves and feast on the already dead, only attacking when food is scarce or when threatened. The Rake knows no bounds, attacking any living thing unfortunate enough to come across it. Some think the Rake prefers to attack and eat children, but I believe the Rake is completely unbiased. There have been reports. What?
It just struck me funny.
It is unbiased. I got stories.
And here I thought a rake was a gardening tool. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Got stories about scary lawn equipment. There have been reports of a creature fitting all of these descriptions attacking a fully grown moose and taking it down. Now, I don't know about you, but moose are fucking huge. And for something roughly the size of a malnourished human to take it down is pretty fucking insane.
Yeah, I'm definitely not malnourished, and I'm not gonna try and wrestle me a moose.
No.
You can ride those things.
Multiple people can ride those things.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
They're huge.
They're big.
Some will even compare the Rake to skinwalkers from Native American legends. They too have a decent amount in common with some differences. Mainly how the Rake gets its name. Long fingers with razor sharp talons on the end, looking large enough to be compared to a yard rake.
I knew it was
if that doesn't get to you, huh?
I knew it was a gardening tool.
Yeah. It's using it for evil, not for good. Rake my lawn, bitch.
Clean the leaves and stop eating children, you fuck.
Don't attack that moose. It's lawn equipment. What are they? The flamingos. What are
flamingos.
They? Yard ornaments.
Yard ornaments.
Yeah. It'll attack gnomes, flamingos, and garden moose.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, for everyone listening, the garden moose is up next for the podcast. Now, if the long, scary fingers and nails don't get to you, the large, soulless eyes that freeze you with fear might. There's so many accounts where people see this thing and just be frozen, like can't do anything just because of the stare. Some people, huh?
Is it some kind of hypnosis or are they just scared?
Some people, so I remember reading this a long time ago. Have you ever heard of the Berwick, Louisiana swamp monster?
I don't think so.
So I'm sure you've seen the picture. It's from a trail cam, and it's this thing on all fours, no hair, huge eyes, just staring at the camera.
Oh yeah, like a ball-headed little.
Yeah, with really long limbs.
Yeah, okay.
So I remember probably when I was 16, 15, I came across that picture on the internet when I was looking up anything that could scare me. And one little conversation about this thing hit home. It scared me. So I'll just start by saying possession is my worst fear by far.
That's fair.
And so a priest was talking, or clergyman, someone from the church was talking about this picture, and they say it had a lot in common with a demon that will basically take your spot through stare if it's direct contact. Like, so basically, this thing can instantly take your place and possess you. And yeah,
Oh, I thought when I saw that picture is I'd punt that creepy little bastard.
you're more of a man than me, but I didn't have the melons back then.
Actually, I just kind of assumed it was Photoshop, but
That's another thing that people think. But there's,
to be fair, I've never looked into the origins of the picture. I've never like done any sort of research on this situation. So it was just like I just assumed it was a Reddit no sleep, Photoshop
yeah.
deal.
Well, I can tell you where to start. It came from Berwick, Louisiana.
All right. And
Um,
if Jake remembers, he's going to put that picture in the Facebook group.
okay,
But
I will.
We never see pictures from Jake in the Facebook.
Yeah, I'm pretty inactive. I'm a butt. Okay. Some who have encountered this creature and escape feel as though they are still being watched while they're at home or doing various other tasks. They will set up recorders and cameras to see if they have been followed, just to have the terrifying truth ensured. Upon realizing that they are no longer safe in their own home, they resort to moving, only to remain tormented, often staying awake with weapons for days on end, and the paranoia will take them, resulting in a sad decision to take their own life before the rake can take theirs.
Don't do that, peoples. If a rake is hunting you or something, just don't take your own life. Don't take your own life if a rake is not following you.
Yeah, it's selfish.
Just 12 gauge to the face. All right, if that's what you need to do with a rake. Okay.
Maybe. I have a certain story in here that might beg to differ.
Here we go. Kelly
But
Hopkinsville all over again.
Huh?
Kelly Hopkinsville all over again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the bullets don't exactly bounce off.
It was an owl. Anyway, go ahead.
It's a shiny fucking owl that waddles when it floats towards you. Okay. With the descriptions and stories passed on, many believe the rake to be completely fictional. However, there are those who have survived to tell their tale. Benjamin.
Yes.
We're going to start in 1691.
1691?
From a mariner's log.
That was a good year.
It was a great year. A lot happened.
A lot happened in 1690. Who the hell seen a rake in 1691?
I didn't get a name. It didn't give a name. Just says mariner's log.
Huh.
And it's short. It's not very detailed, but it fits.
You have my attention. I love those really, really old accounts of things.
All right. It's short.
It's not the size that counts.
It's what I've been told, but I'm single. He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. It took everything. I must return to England. I shall not return here at the request of this creature.
That's all it says?
Yeah.
That literally could have been anything.
Yes, but the rake is known to come to people in their sleep and tell them stuff.
All right.
All right.
So the rake is an alien.
Something. All right. This one is translated from Spanish. It's from 1880, and it's a suicide note. Dearest Linny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are honed and entirely black. They saw me and pierced me. So at hand, I will not sleep. Goodbye.
That's creepy.
Yeah. This one, I don't know when it's from, but it's another suicide note. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage. I don't know how to say that word, but
It's a swage.
assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I woke and saw his form, once again I awoke and heard his voice and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might wake next awake to experience. I can never wake. Goodbye.
Hmm.
Now this one, it seems a little fake to me, but also there was a few like captions of people saying they remember the story on the news, or not on the news, but like with, I can't think of the word, some coverage. So I didn't want to completely throw it out, and it's very interesting.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so this was in 2016. Um, Takes place in New York. 3 years ago, I had just returned home from a trip from Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids straight to bed and called it a night. At about 4 a.m., I woke up to thinking my husband had gotten up to use the restroom. I used the moment to take back the sheets, only to wake him. I apologized and said I thought he left the bed. When he turned his face towards me, he gasped and pulled his feet up from the edge of the bed. He then grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the darkness, I was able to see what caused his strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, sitting and facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man or a large hairless animal of some sort. The squatting position was completely unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I wasn't instantly frightened, but more concerned about its condition. At this point, I was under the assumption we were supposed to help it or something. My husband was peering over at me in the fetal position. In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled around the side of the bed and crawled in a flailing sort of motion right around the side of the bed until it was less than a foot away from my husband's face. The creature was silent for what felt like 30 seconds. Then the creature ran out of the room into the hall towards the kids' room. I screamed and hit the light switch, hoping he wouldn't hurt my kids. When I got to the hallway, it was in the room, hunched over. He turned and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flipped the switch and saw my daughter. The creature ran down the stairs as my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was badly injured and passed away shortly after. Her last words were, "It talked to me."
I
Ah,
I really hope that story's not true.
right?
I really hope so.
Bit of an asshole move, waking them up and then killing their daughter.
Mostly I hate it because what the fuck was that dude doing not fucking fighting that thing?
Yeah, he sounded like a bit of a puss in the story.
A big time puss fucking just lays in the bed.
Yeah,
He
fetal
he
position.
didn't even yell at his wife or nothing like,
Don't
don't
eat my
come in here.
toes.
Like, don't come in here. No, he pulls his feet up like the demon under the bed can't get you if your feet ain't hanging over. And he just lays his fucking bitch ass on the fucking bed. Fuck
At
that
least he
guy.
didn't scurry underneath the covers.
Sounded like he did.
Eat my kids. They're healthier.
Like, he might as well scurried under the fucking covers for all the good he was doing. Fucking bitch ass motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you think so far?
Well, so far, I think you're telling some stories, buddy.
I am. Yeah.
Like, I don't know about this rake critter, but
So, in my like 2 weeks of research, um, I have come across a lot of different descriptions of it,
mm-hmm.
but a lot of people say it's a bipedal cryptid, but how elongated its limbs are and they twist and contort in like really weird ways. But they say when it stands up, it's anywhere from 7 to 9 feet tall, which pretty scary with that body type. And I will post that picture on the Facebook right after this so you can see just how creepy something walking upright looking like that would be. Because, I mean, I don't want to say I'd piss my pants or anything, but I'd probably piss my pants. Hopefully, it's like the Bigfoot and I just got to whip it out to intimidate it.
I mean, from the descriptions, like, it's got like a lot of elements from different things that I've heard of. You know, like it's got like a little Wendigo thrown in there
Mm-hmm.
with its being scrawny as shit and like 9 feet tall and eating people.
Yeah.
And then it's got like some like alien type things going for it too. You know, like with the shows up in your bedroom shit, which is also
Asshole.
like shadow person type shit too. But shadow people, as far as I know, have never eaten a kid. So yeah, it's got like a lot of different elements to it. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. And a lot of people will argue, even with the people who have encountered it, they argue that it was just like a diseased animal. Like
Mm-hmm.
most people say it has a very strange body, but it looks like a dog, a hairless, big dog.
Does anybody describe it with a muzzle of any sort?
No,
Then I'm not gonna think it's a dog.
but think back to the uh what's it called? Hang on, I have it in my notes. The metapet creature, the thing that washed up on shore in New York.
Oh, the Montauk monster.
Montauk monster. That's
But that still had, because it was rotted away, it looked more like a beak at that point, but it still did have a muzzle.
so I have read where it sharpened out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe the decay could set in enough to make it look like that. But
On the rake.
for the argument of if it could be a dog.
Yeah, I don't think it's a dog. I've seen
You know?
pictures of this thing and it looks more human.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen it depicted with a muzzle. I've never heard it described with a tail.
No.
Even hairless dogs got tails. Unless you
Unless
cut
they
them
got
off.
chopped.
I mean, but still, then you got a nub.
Yeah, you got the little nub.
Right? You got the little wiggle nub.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking it's like a dog with mange. And how does a dog with mange just get in your house in the middle of the night, all stealthy like?
You were just telling me about how your cats know how to use doors. Maybe a dog knows how to.
Okay, that's fair. When was the last time you saw a 9 foot tall dog?
The dog man.
The dog.
No, he's 7'4".
Right. That's a very specific measurement.
Says it in the song, 7'4".
Says it in the song, 7'4". So yeah, I'm not thinking it's a. I can't think of a natural animal that fits that description.
Right?
When you're talking like 7 to 9 foot tall and bipedal, there's only like one animal that even comes close to that, and that's a bear.
Yeah, but it's way
Especially
too
in North
scrawny.
America. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Even a skinny bear
Right.
is not that.
But the hairless bears are terrifying.
They are. They look like werewolves and shit.
Yeah. Come across one of those, I might piss myself too.
Hairless bears and wet koalas are fucking terrifying.
But I did come across something that made me feel a little bit better about bears. Bears, they can feel nut punches.
I saw that meme.
Yeah.
Nut
Boot
punch.
those fuckers in the balls and run.
What if it's a girl bear?
Bear attack 101.
Bear
Kick
attack.
it in the balls.
Kick him in the nuts. Hoofer in the front butt.
Yeah. If it's a female bear, I guess.
Just titty twister.
Twist its dirty pillows.
Wonder if that would work on the rake. Does the rake got nipples?
Nipples. Not I didn't come across any nipples on the rake.
Ben and Jake's How to Survive Monster Attacks. Purple nurple. That's the only answer you need.
Slap it in the right nut.
Kick it in the nut, twist its nipples. It'll leave you alone.
Spit in its mouth.
But yeah, that last story really bothers me. Like the lady's like, I didn't know if it was a naked man or a hairless animal, but I just went to lay down. It's fine.
Well,
now that I've said that though, it is a common trope, especially among alien contactees or contact, that you like see these aliens or you see a UFO and you're just like, oh, hey, how about that? I'm gonna go back to bed now. Like that is so common, it's fucking ridiculous. But then it went and ate a kid. So I'm not happy about
it didn't eat the kid.
It was covered in blood.
It was covered in blood. She was still alive. They went to take, well, okay, so this was in one of the sub posts that I read, kind of continuing the story, but it said after the child was attacked, the mother was going to stay at the house with the other child in case this thing came back. And the father was taking the daughter to the hospital. She died on the way, but then he saw something that made him swerve off the road. He got badly injured in the car crash. It went into a lake, and he was in the hospital. His wife called the cops. The cops went to her house and the hospital to question the father, and the father died saying that it ran him off the road.
So wait, he died too?
Yeah. In this, I don't know if they were just trying to like continue it to make it sound better, but
yeah, that I don't know. There's a lot about this story I would question. It's a good story.
Well, so one little point that you kind of made me think of is when he was in the fetal position, just staring at this thing in bed, it was staring back at him. Maybe goes back to freezing in its gaze.
Then how come she didn't? How come she didn't freeze?
She was looking at her husband, and she only saw the back of it.
Not once she got in bed, she watched it walk around and get in her husband's face.
That's true.
And she just laid there like a fucking wiener. That's okay. Let me break down why. At the very heart of why I don't believe this story. I have an old lady. If my old lady walked in the room and seen a naked man / hairless creature down at the bottom of the bed, do you think she is going to let me just lay there
You sleep with a
Fuck,
gun.
fuck, no, she's not. She's gonna be screaming. She's gonna be kicking me. She's gonna be doing all kinds of shit. That's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to be the man, and they're supposed to make you be the man.
All right, but not everyone is as chivalrous as you. There's
Everybody is chivalrous when their old lady is nagging them to fight the naked man at the end of the fucking bed.
wrong.
Even if he just is doing it to make her shut up.
I read this story once about a bear attack, I think in Alaska. A guy and his wife were out hiking and they came across a grizzly, and well, it was baby bear season, so it was especially pissed off that it crossed him. So it started chasing him. The guy outran the lady, just outran her.
All right, all right. I saw, I think it was a TikTok or something too. It was like a security cam in like an apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this couple, they're walking down the hallway. And all of a sudden they both just freak the fuck out. And you hear like a dog bark. And the dude straight up hides behind his old lady while the dog comes running down the hallway barking its full fucking head off. So, okay, maybe you got a point there.
Yeah, I also saw this one. These people dressed up like Slender Man, like got on stilts and shit, and they walk into this car garage thing, and or what are the big ones called for like carport car? The garage is the
Like
big
a
ones.
like a parking garage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it starts walking and they don't notice it at first. It's this guy and his lady friend. And he turns around, sees it, shoves her over, and takes off running.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected.
Men can be pussies.
I stand corrected. But still, that guy in the story was a fucking wiener. All
Right.
right.
The right thing to do is start booting this thing in the head or something.
Even if you're too damn scared to do that, at least yell at your wife to get the kids and get the fuck out the house because there's something in here.
Or at the very least, scream so the kids are like, oh shit, something might be happening. We should close our door.
No, that's the bad thing to do with kids. You start raising a ruckus, the first thing they do is come find you.
You think so?
Yep, you have to send a parent after them. I can tell you right now.
Well, it's a good thing I don't have kids. You're on your own. I don't want this spooky thing eating me. Eat my kids.
Eat the baby. Gotta go. I'll make another one. Gotta go.
But then again, I sleep with knives and weapons and all that stuff because, well, specific reasons.
Just in case of rakes.
Yeah, I don't want to be taken advantage of in my sleep.
I mean, you can say specific reasons that you know damn well I'm surrounded by more fucking firepower than
Yeah, than an army.
Everybody in my house has
Yeah.
access to loaded firearms.
Yeah, I got my gun. I got 2 knives underneath my pillow. Ready for anything.
Yeah, in my house, if you're over 5 feet tall, you just get a gun. Here you go. Here, have a gun.
I tried to get River to wield a knife, but she just won't. She says I need to focus all my walking on my 3 legs.
Just tape it to her tail. That thing's lethal as it is.
It is. She's got a rock hard tail. Smacks me in the face with it all the time. So I wanted to go a little bit more into ghouls, why people think these two are related. An older story version of ghouls is they were cave dwellers. And basically over time, like they started out as people, but over time kind of like got the Gollum syndrome slash
They
the
started.
descent, or yeah, the descent.
They got real ugly and started to hate hobbitses.
Yeah, and eat raw fish, and yeah. So some people,
Hobbitses.
I want to hear you do Stitch again. That one was good.
They're very close to the same voice.
Yeah.
They really are.
But people see these things in caves, and basically, once they notice that they've been noticed, they take off back into the cage or cave, not catching these things. And so they're fearful of being noticed. Um, and when people see them while exploring a cave, they run out, they don't get attacked. These things survive by going out at night and catching animals.
That's not the
But
ghoul. That's not the ghouls I'm familiar with.
no,
No, that's a different take on them.
we'll do share.
The ghouls that I'm familiar with are creatures that live primarily in catacombs and graveyards and feed on corpses.
Yep.
So those are the ones I know of.
Okay. So are you ready for my last little bit here?
I'm ready.
All right, SpongeBob. So you may ask yourself if there's any way to fend off this beast or perhaps kill it. Sadly, there is not much on how to deter or destroy a monster like this. There is one story with a not so happy ending, but not a terrible ending. And here it is. A family of 5 that wished to stay anonymous, a mom, a family of 4. Oh no, 5. You're getting my story mixed up. A family of 5 that wished to stay anonymous, a father, a mother, 2 sons, and a daughter, had a feeling that each night someone was attempting to break into their home. One night, the mother awakes to hear what sounded like a large dog with long nails walking in the hallway. They didn't have any pets, so she thought somehow a stray got in. She went into the hallway to find a disgusting humanoid creature staring back at her. She let out a scream, and the thing ran away. The scream woke up the entire house, and her husband assured her that she was sleepwalking and it was kind of a lucid dream. She wasn't convinced, so she slept with a handgun next to her that night. The next
Girl.
night. Yeah. The family was woken up by screaming coming from the daughter's room. The mother and father rushed in there to find the window broken and their daughter with a large bleeding bite mark. The daughter said between sobs that she woke up to this thing in the corner of her room making strange noises. She didn't want to scream and make it attack, but the thing ran quickly to her and whispered, "I'll be back for you." She screamed when it spoke, and it bit her, then jumped out of the window. The bite wasn't bad, so they washed it and bandaged it. The next night, they weaponed up and stayed in the same room. They slept in intervals until they heard familiar footsteps from the hall. The oldest son had a metal baseball bat. The father had a shotgun. The mother had a handgun. The father opened the door, prepared to shoot. He saw the target and missed. The creature had inhuman speed and got past him and entered the room. The second the monster stepped into the room, however, the oldest son bashed it in the head with the bat. He heard its skull break, but they weren't taking any chances. The mother shot it in the head, and the family checked in with each other to make sure they were all right. They then heard gurgling noises from the creature, and it got up and ran away faster than a blur. The cops were called, and they arrived to nothing but a frightened family and bullet holes. The family took many safety precautions, but were never tormented by the rake again. So, you fuck it up with a bat and shoot it in the face, it'll leave you alone.
That sounds like something we can do.
Yeah.
Still, a kid got bit.
Yeah.
These parents just aren't fast enough.
Right? You would think, I mean, with nerves and everything, I get it more than anybody having tremors, but like, even when I get worked up, get buck fever or something, I could still shoot. Like, I could easily shoot something 5 feet away with a shotgun.
I would hope so.
So,
My aunt's got friggin' Parkinson's, and I told her get a shotgun.
yeah, spray and
Like,
pray, basically.
just accuracy by volume and shit. Like, just go. I mean, you don't want to shoot the kid or nothing, but come on, man. Like,
Right. And I'm thinking that's why he didn't shoot again when it made it past him.
right.
But
I mean, they did better than the first couple that we talked about.
yeah, take my daughter.
That first one, they were just a bunch of damn sissy ass motherfuckers. Didn't even kick it. They didn't even smack it with a chancla or nothing. They just
Throw their cell phone at it.
Just something. Shit.
Get out of here.
Didn't even try to pillow fight the bastard. They just laid
Flop
there.
a sock at it.
They just laid there. I mean, like being dumb shits.
Yeah. If I wake up to the rake, I'm gonna horse boot it in the face and grab my gun.
Yeah.
And hopefully load it quick enough.
Loaded.
I got a revolver. It ain't that easy for me.
If I wake up, I got 2 of them. They're loaded. If I wake up to a rake, I'm gonna try. Yeah, it's better to die a man's death, I guess. I don't know.
Hopefully, my little dog here isn't a chicken, and she will alert me.
She's gonna bark twice and hightail it out the fucking door.
I have only ever heard her bark once. I let her out at night, and she barked and took off towards that creepy ass house that's next door. Well, I yelled and chased her, caught up to her, and we weren't friends for a little while. She don't take off on my watch. So that's what I got on the rake.
I like the stories. I'm gonna have to think about this guy a little bit. Like I said, he doesn't exactly fit in any of the categories.
Right. And there's not a whole lot of on them, but like the people who don't believe say it came as a story on a forum in 2003. And then there's people who just think it's from that one video game. So like I looked up a story trying to figure out how to kill the rake, and all I could get is videos of people killing it with a sniper rifle in this video game. Like,
Gotcha.
So a sniper rifle might work, everyone.
I got one of those too.
But not many people have a sniper rifle.
I mean, it's not technically a sniper rifle, but it'll shoot over 800 yards. So
is it a 308?
Uh-huh.
I like 308s.
It sure is. It's loaded.
But yeah. So that's the one story that I could find that didn't have just a terrible ending. Whether it sounded fake or just like
that story to me is more believable than the previous one.
Yeah. And I like the fact that I found 3 stories from before they say it was a thing, especially from the 1600s. I know it could be something else, but the fact that it came to him in his sleep and all that.
I mean, that's the one thing I did not mention is if you take the rake and you insert it into demon lore, once you get into demon lore, like all bets are off, kind of.
Right.
You know, except for the biting people thing. That's not usually associated with demon lore, but
it is in possession. Like it's a big thing in possession. people who get possessed will bite, and they bite hard.
So yeah, it's definitely an interesting story.
So maybe this thing could be a demon,
Could be a alien.
could be an alien, could be a weird hybrid experiment thing,
It's probably an owl.
could be anything.
It could be an owl.
Could be a garden moose,
Garden moose.
yard moose, whatever I said earlier.
It's a garden moose. All right. If that's all you got,
That's all I got.
then we're going to say thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out our website. If you enjoy our content, then we have extra content available for you if you head on over to our Patreon, $5 a month. Shout out on the show, bonus content, and a one-of-a-kind limited run sticker will be sent right to your door.
Or mailbox.
Or mailbox. Maybe your mailbox is by your door.
It could be.
It could be. So with that, we will say thank you for listening and good night.
Good night, everybody.